I know I should have made this video a little sooner with how things are going recently, but I get we're a little bit late to this topic that I've wanted to make, and I was so packed up. But obviously the topic of the day is, does Zenless hate Burnice? And now I know it's questionable to say that now, is because we got that Gerta Blue or however you want to pronounce that boss's name. For once, bro is not resistant to fire. And I say that is because throughout all of 2x, when we finally received Burnice buffs, I was like, oh shit, Burnice buffs. We received Burnice buffs and everything. And you know what Zenless proceeded to do after that? They proceeded to release every single anomaly boss. Maybe not every single, but most of the anomaly bosses, they decided to release and have them resistant to fire. And I'm talking about like bosses like, you know, obviously we had the Fiend, we had Vesper, and then we had Sweeper. And I'm not gonna lie, little plug, I did fight Sweeper with Burnice, and it was quite the experience. I'll actually leave that in the description if you guys are curious on how that video turned out, despite him being fire resistant. But those bosses, like, they all released, and we've never had a fire anomaly buff or anything like that, or a boss that's weak to fire. And I'm just like, what the heck? We're gonna buff Burnice and not give a boss that's like weak to fire? I just find it funny on that whole situation, because actually, scratch that. I will say we didn't get a fire buff, but it's wrong to say that. Maybe more so we didn't get one in DA, but we actually did get a fire anomaly buff, surprisingly, and it was in Shiyu. It was actually a fire and electric anomaly buff, and I'll have that displayed up on the screen if you guys remember this Shiyu. I remember when it came out and I seen that, I was like, wait, am I reading this correctly? Fire and electric anomaly? I was like, bro, that just screams the old days of running Yanagi and Burnice. And then, you know, we had Yuzo at that time. I was like, bro, hell yeah, I'm gonna run that team. And that team performed so well. It got like 40k and everything. I seen other people getting 46k. I was like, holy shit. Like, that time, it felt really good. That was a time where Burnice actually got a buff of somewhat for anomaly. And, you know, Yanagi was able to take advantage of it too. But other than that, we have not gotten any fire anomaly buffs at all, or bosses. And Fiend, they released Fiend, obviously. Fiend is the Alice shield, I guess you could say. Alice, maybe your Jane Doe's, obviously. You know, people say Piper is better than Jane. You can fight me on this. I think Jane's better. Because why does every Piper team seem like a struggle bus compared to Jane when it's against Fiend? But that's just me. Maybe it's because Jane is smoother to play or whatever it may be. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I'm always a Piper hater. I was just joking. But Fiend, fire resistant, you know, RIP Burnice. The next boss that we had right here was this monstrosity of a boss, Vesper. And I'm not gonna lie, this boss fight, I will say, I think her mechanics and everything are cool. I think Vesper's mechanics, like, by that I mean like the design of the boss fight, the music, where she gets gigantic and you're hitting those big parries. Like, I love everything about that in the fight. The only thing I don't like is how hard Vesper shields the angels in Ether Veil. Is actually crazy. She shields them really hard. And let's just top it off. You know, they were nerfing Miyabi at that time, so, you know, ice resistant. But why did fire resistant get a stray? Like, what? That's where we were just like, come on, bro. Like, why did Burnice catch a stray? Why can't we use our Burnices? And then there goes another boss striking Burnice with the fire resistant. And I was like, okay, you know, they buff Burnice. Okay, that's two fire resistant bosses. You know, maybe she'll get one. Maybe she'll get one. And I was saying, I was coping, maybe she will get one. Maybe the next anomaly boss they decide to add will be a fire weak boss. And then as we were hoping, we get this next anomaly boss, and you can already see what he's resistant to. And yeah, that we were coping. Sweeper came out. We were like, surely they're not gonna make another fire resistant anomaly boss. Sweeper just he just came in and just said fuck you too to Burnice, and that's why I would say do the devs hate Burnice? Because why did they do her this dirty, man? Like 3 anomaly bosses in the span of 2x, and they're resistant to fire. It's like, come on, bro, let my girl Burnice shine. And I was always saying they're probably gonna let Burnice shine, but you know when they're gonna let her shine? When they release a new fire anomaly unit, and then they're gonna have fire anomaly weakness and shit like that, and Burnice is gonna get power cut by then. That was the only time I could see it, but I was proven wrong. Before Gerta Blulu, or however you pronounce his name, don't butcher me, we had Phaethon of the Scorched Horizon. And now this isn't resistant to fire or weak to fire, but it's still good to have this boss, because this boss, out of like Vesper and Sweeper, forgot to mention Sweeper had his shield mechanic where you needed stun or Nangguang, and to get that new anomaly shield, or not anomaly shield, new miasma shield down with, like, you know, anomaly procs, blooms, like disorders, all that, and, you know, Nangguang stuns, that's what got it down faster. But this boss was actually done pretty properly, like the new wind weakness boss with ice, which was Phaethon. And this time around, we were able to use our Miabis and stuff like that. Obviously, Promea, when she came out, was obliterating this as well. We were able to use our Vivians, RP Alice, because physical resistance for the first time. And Burnice was even able to shine here. And now, don't butcher me for this one too, but I will say, when I used Miyabi, Vivian, and Yuzua, that team, like, it got good points. But when I swapped out Vivian and I threw in Burnice, Burnice got a higher score than Vivian. And I think that might have been when I had the Vivian Sig from the free shop at the time. So that's not an unfair, that's an unfair comparison, because I don't have Vivian Sig. But Burnice did beat Vivian, and I was really surprised. And that was actually a time where Burnice actually got to shine, and it put a smile on my face. And for once, an anomaly boss wasn't resistant to fire. I was like, okay, Burnice, we're getting there. It's not weak to fire, but you can be used, finally. Because we're always looking for somewhere to use Burnice. That's when we get to Gerta Blulu. And I'm not gonna lie, it might be a skill issue. I might have to reattempt it. I use Jane Doe. I use Alice. For some reason, I use Miyabi, yes. I think Jane got 38k. I think Alice probably got like 36, maybe 37. I think Jane was close to getting a 40k. But you know who I used and got that 40k? No surprise, we used Burnice. Burnice got a 40k clear on Gerta Blulu. Before, it was actually 38k as well. And then how close it was, I was like, you know, I think Burnice can 40k. And then we went in the next day. We did it. And then Burnice got the 40k, and I was like, wow. Put a smile on my face again. Once again, it's not resistant to fire, or it's not weak to fire, but Burnice was able to be used again. And I forgot to mention the one MVP in the room,
A wise choice.
Valina. Not only did Valina buff Jane, she also buffed Burnice, and like a win as a whole. But they buffed a lot of things. Blooms, Vivian even gets buffed. And when I was seeing people using main DPS Burnice teams, or probably more so not so main DPS on Burnice, but more on Valina. But when I was seeing people use those teams with Burnice and getting those clears, I was like, holy shit, can Burnice actually be used? And is she actually getting buffed again indirectly by Valina? And she was, because you can see we got 40k. And this unit right here, she just helped. She helped it even more. I couldn't be more happy with that. And with the rumors of Remiel, and Valina, as we've seen in the gameplay video and stuff like that. They even had Jane in there. We know they're going to be partners. Rumor being like 3 anomalies or whatever. Hey, I think Burnice is going to be able to be in that slot. And she's probably going to go even more crazy. I think Burnice is going to receive more buffs.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
I think the really good thing about like Valina with Burnice as well is how they, when they buffed Burnice, they gave her a blooms. And you know how wind and vortex is with a blooms, as well as Valina doing a blooms. All that shenanigans, fire, tornado, go crazy. Burnice having a blooms and being used with Valina, it just makes the combo even crazier. Like those buffs, they may not have worked out for the most part when we had all those enemies that were resistant to fire that we just named off, but it paid out in the long run because Valina made Burnice shine a little bit more. And the Faithin boss, as well as Gerta, Blue, I don't know, man. Those 3 things made Burnice able to shine even more. And now getting news about Remiel potentially buffing anomaly units, that's gonna make Burnice shine even more. And now I know this was does Zenless hate Burnice type of video. I should have made it way back, because then it would have aged like wine. Because I was always saying it feels like Zenless hates Burnice because there is no fire weakness anomaly enemies at all. For some reason, every time they come out, they're all resistant to fire. Like they don't want Burnice to cook. Like she's secretly Void Hunter level. The devs know something that we don't know, and they're preventing her potential, her growth. She has extreme potential, and they knew that, so they nerfed her. Well, they buffed her, but they nerfed her with bosses, and that was always my one concern. Or I was like, bro, why are we gonna buff Burnice and then just do her dirty with these anomaly bosses in DA? Other than that one time in Shiyu where she got the shine, and that was pretty good. But after that, we never seen a buff like that of that caliber. Never a fire anomaly buff for Burnice. If there was one way back, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there was, but I was expecting maybe some fire anomaly buff to still exist. With Burnice being in the game, she's the only fire anomaly actually. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the crazy thing though too. She's the only fire anomaly in the game. So with that, does that mean we will get more fire anomalies in the future? And will they, I guess, power creep Burnice? I have a feeling it's going to be Claret, because Claret, she kind of looks like Burnice 2.0 low-key. Blonde hair. We ain't escaping the Snow Bunny allegations. She's also got red eyes. She legit looks like she could be Burnice's sister. That being said, I do like her design. But is that when we'll see a new fire anomaly? Or could it be Phoenix? Because she looks like she's going to be fire without a shadow of a doubt. Her name is Phoenix, literally. Look at her wings in the background she's in. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Burnice and why I think, you know, the Zenless devs hate Burnice, or I should say hated her. Because all those enemies that were like nerfing her after her getting buffed made no sense. And it almost makes you say, does Zenless hate fire agents as a whole? Because that could be a topic for another discussion. And you guys let me know if you want me to make that a video idea, because that could be another thing we can get into that I do feel like is a thing. Now I know we're getting Norma, but just look at Orphe for example. And that's basically Orphe and her teams, and you know, the enemies being resistant to fire. That's just basically what I'm gonna get into. But you guys let me know if you how you feel about Burnice, and if you think the devs did her dirty, and do you think that the devs hate Burnice? Because I certainly still think they kind of do, but she is getting her time to shine, and I can't wait to see what she's looking like when Remiel comes out. And yeah, that was basically it. If you guys liked the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to help out a smaller creator like me, and that'll be it.
I won't fall for your distractions so easily. What?
I will surpass you with my own lovely victory.